this unmute button here, and this unmute button here, and this top screen here, and welcome everyone to May the 4th be with Star Trek, of course. I hope you're having a great year on this May the 4th. And are you ready for some Starfleet-based adventures? Where we're exploring strange new worlds, seeking out new life and new civilizations, and boldly going where these people have never gone before. Or they might have, I don't know. We'll find that out in the course of the adventure. Of course, joining me today are 4 people that will need some introductions of their characters, just because we kind of established, and then I will throw out some information on the world and get us started right into it. Worm, you're next to me. Why don't you start out by introducing your character?
I am Qeln, the Klingon science officer. I grew up on a space station and interacted with other species a lot.
Okay.
There we go, that's good enough.
Sounds great. So Lieutenant Qeln. Joe, who's also Lieutenant.
Yeah, I am the Chief Medical Officer, and I'm half Betazoid, half Denobulan. So I'm a stretchy Betazoid.
I hate that.
I
hate that you're stretchy.
I'm like a pufferfish.
Gross. Disgusting.
Momo, who's our lieutenant commander of this group.
I am playing David Soyer. I am a human man surrounded by all these weird Starfleet aliens. I'm just a human. I was born on a colony. I'm a normal dude.
I was born on a colony.
I think humans just saying that they're normal. You're the default setting in the Federation. Whatever.
They kind of are.
Whatever.
They really...
Real human-centric attitudes here. I can already see where this game is going, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
We have, of course, Erik, who's playing our intrepid ensign here.
Yes. I am Kyth the Lodicock. And I'm an Andorian, junior security officer. I am here. I am handsome, and I will not apologize for it, but I will apologize a lot. Yeah, that's me.
So you are members of the crew of the Intrepid class USS Starburst, who's been on kind of a long-range mission on the towards the edge of the galaxy, kind of checking out some of the fringes of Starfleet space and investigating some things under there. You're captain under, I'm going to butcher this because god damn it, I had to choose something that has a difficult name. Nisami, your Katian captain. And Contation, sorry. I never say them right.
With the cat people.
You have a cat
they're
person.
The cat people.
You're played one of those 2 years ago, I think.
They're perfect.
Your captain's a cat person. And of course, then your first officer is Commander Melik, a Ryzian, who just and then of course your other major member of the command staff is Lieutenant Commander Valanium, a Vulcan chief engineer. Which I can put their names in chat, how they're spelled, just to have someone else pronounce these.
A Vulcan, a cat person.
I'm also just terrible with names.
Sounds like the setup for a terrible
auditory learning.
Melik, the Ryzian, and because I had to choose the Vulcans with the apostrophe, And of course, you're on the Starburst.
It's like my favorite candy.
Honestly, I'm sure someone on the ship has made that joke because they know about classic candies from the 20th century, from human 20th century. One of the humans on the ship I'm honestly sure has made the joke about it.
What?
They probably have replicated Starburst in the shape of our ship.
It's a joke that was it probably was established early on by someone that studied stuff of that era.
So it's the cat person is the
It's
Nissimi.
Melik.
Yeah.
Oh, Melik. Cat person, captain.
Nasumi is the cat person.
Oh, Nissimi, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And Melik is the Ryzian.
Yeah, that's what I...
Yeah, you were correct. Anyway,
I looked wrong.
it's fine. It is fine. Anyway, so you've been out currently on your current mission for a number of months. It's been probably like it's 4 months, getting on the 5th month that you've been out here on the edge of Federation space. There's like unmanned stations that just watch areas. Not a lot of colonies out this area. You're towards the edge of the galaxy, so there isn't a lot of like stuff out here. Checking out various anomalies, things like that. Doing the kind of thing an intrepid class is supposed to do. Explore. There are places in this area that certainly, varies throughout ages Federation has been to. It's kind of like going back, discovering new things, checking out old places that people haven't gone to, that kind of thing. So you're not, like, pathfinding specifically, like, in a new area necessarily. It's like, oh, hey, somebody surveyed this area, like, 100 years ago. Let's see if anything's different. That kind of stuff. Anyway. It's a routine day with a couple of many of you on the bridge. Of course, you will have Lieutenant Commander Soyer. You're at your security station, and I will say that I'm gonna butcher some of these names here in the group, trying to get down your character's name.
Do it.
Kyth, you're also there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kyth. Kyth is at least easier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just Kyth.
Yeah, Kyth.
The cameras are gone on the stream.
I know why. Don't worry about it. I'll fix it.
Okay.
Anytime I maximize or I have something that takes up the entire window over top of Discord when I'm capturing it for stream right now,
You still have that issue, huh?
I haven't fixed it.
I don't know how you fix it, man.
I don't know. I'll figure it out later. It's not critical. I can have something not quite maximized and filling up most of my screen, so it's okay. It's.
I remember you having.
Anyway. Kyth, you were there at like a supplementary security station. You're kind of
you have the little desk.
You've got like the little desk off to the one side. You're basically like doing some rudimentary work that you're we're asked to run a few like diagnostics on some of the internal security systems. Make sure the yellow and red alerts are working properly and stuff like that. While Soyer, you're doing your normal business of like running a couple of scans and making sure the ship is all in place. The captain, the command, and lieutenant commander the captain and the commander here on the bridge. They're chatting about the other day you had managed to find a micro wormhole while checking out a system, and we're investigating it for a little while, and we're discussing like kind of like implications that can do. Gathered some data. You're kind of exploring. You're not like you're an exploration ship, not a science ship, so you're like sending information back to Starfleet so someone might show up and check it out later. Of course, Gwyn, you're in the medical bay, and Qeln, you're in one of the science bays right now. So all of you are busy with your work. As at this point in time that Lieutenant Commander Soyer, you will detect a distress signal incoming.
Oh shit. Captain, there's distress signal.
Origin.
Do I know where it's from?
Sure. Give me a, I have to check character sheets, because I have to remember character sheets. Thank you very much. Give me a second here. It would probably be a, control, I'll say control security.
How do I roll?
So you click control and security, and then there's a dice roller on the side where you'd have a complication range of 1, a task roll of 2, and I think you just click the 2.
Can I just press the Starfleet button?
You have Starfleet next to the task roll.
Next to the task roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
2
We
success.
default to 2 dice, right? Unless unless there's
Unless
some
there's a-
complication or other boon.
I will roll. I'm just going to use a random
Yes.
character. I have a ship character sheet, don't I? I do. I'm going to roll this computers 1, computer security 1. That I probably should edit some of your ship, but whatever. I'm just going to roll this one as the systems of the computer will help you. I didn't play around with these stats for my weird random ship I have here. Whatever, it helps assist you. So you will. The difficulty was actually 0, so you'll add some momentum. We'll get up to your maximum of 6 right now. So you'll build some momentum. It seems to be coming from a class L planet in a nearby system. The Telgh system.
It's from the Telgh system, Class L planet.
It does also seem to be an automated distress signal.
Oh, I'll relay that information as well.
The captain will have a course laid in, and will ask if we'll call in a science officer, probably the head science officer, Science Officer
The
Qeln.
egghead.
Yeah, Science Officer Qeln to the bridge. We might need your information.
On my way.
So you'll head to the bridge,
Okay.
and he'll ask you, Lieutenant Qeln, can you give me any more information on this system?
Let me see. I sit down at a computer desk and start to scan and such.
Honestly, you might have also. I have to remember Intrepid class. They might have had a chunk of you, and you might have been like the what is it, Kim on Voyager? Because Intrepid class is Voyager. You might have been the Kim on the bridge, honestly, because he's just there doing stuff.
There's that person who's on the bridge.
Yeah, it's me not remembering good. Anyway, what
am I rolling?
Reason science, probably, if you're giving me an outlay of stuff from that, and I'll roll a random dice from the ship too. All right, got some good successes there. I'll also say it's difficulty 1, so you got a success. You can't really build momentum, so I'm not going to bother rolling for the ship right now.
How about we cap out at 6, but there's a 7th bar for momentum?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I think
there might be some abilities or things that let you go overclock in a way.
Possible. It's very strange. The sheet also is different than last year.
it is.
It
It
might
is a
have
little
got
different.
they might have updated something.
It does look like they
There might,
updated the sheets.
might be new rules, I don't know.
Updated the sheets a little bit.
Funny enough, there actually was there's a 2020 version of the Star Trek Adventures I noticed. So there was a slight update to the book, because when I went to download it, I'm like, oh, there's a 2020 version.
So, anyway, Telgh's system is made up of 6 worlds, of which the Class L world that is in question is Telgh 3. The 3rd planet in the system, it is a frozen world. It classifies as Class L for a combination of factors. The temperature tends to be very low on the planet's surface. There are life forms on the planet, but it does not does not have any major plant life. It is fauna have developed, developing from feeding on the hidden bacterials in frozen oceans. Since the evolution of things on the planet, certainly there are creatures that live on the planet's surface. Other than that, the atmosphere is relatively breathable without much problem. It might be tiring for a long-term exposure to it, so it's I think probably high CO2 atmosphere, would it be?
Either low oxygen or high CO2, both would probably do the same thing.
It's something combination of that, because there is things that will process it, but in not the same numbers as on a planet that has plant life. The temperatures range, but are very cold. So The automated distress signal doesn't give much information. It just effectively lets... it's a general SOS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright.
The General SOS, frozen planet. I am detecting life forms on the planet as well.
Do we know anything about these life forms?
As far...
Oh, sorry. There was some more information I forgot. The atmosphere is highly magnetic, meaning that sensors have difficulty piercing it. They can get general information, but not very exacting information, unfortunately.
Okay. There is fauna on the planet, a large collection of animal life. However, specific readings and whether or not they have higher brain functions is impossible to tell, as the atmosphere has a lot of magnetic interference.
Would we require to send a shuttle down, or would be able to teleport anybody down?
What do the magnetic readings say about that?
Roll me another reason science. I'll
Instant
say
death.
this is still difficulty 1. Do you want to spend any momentum, or are you just gonna roll? But you can also use the computer because you're here.
You know what? Yeah, I'll use the computer. That's all I'll do.
Okay.
I mean, you might as well spend momentum if you want. We were at max, so...
That's a good point. I'll spend 1 momentum
This
as
ain't
well.
Final Fantasy. We can use our
That
potions.
increases my task roll to 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
The computer does not help at all. Honestly, in fact, it would be potentially be a hindrance, but I don't think the computer on a ship really does that. Fortunately for you. Now, because you earned momentum, I will say you could get extra information too, because you only needed the 1, and you would be able to bank 1 if you wanted to use some of the banked, or you could spend the 1 to 2 you got for earning momentum to get extra information about what you're asking. You'd be able to ask extra questions, which I could perhaps answer related to what you're doing.
So...
You could talk with the other people, too, about that. I mean, like, honestly, if someone else has a suggestion.
Is there, like... I mean, I could ask about... Obviously, will teleporting down kill us all?
Yeah, is there interference? Is there any interference with teleportation? If there is, we could have a follow-up question of, would there be any complications in taking a shuttle down?
Yeah.
So, the answer to the teleportation is, theoretically, a teleportation lock is possible.
Okay.
If you are following up with a question based on the shuttlecraft, theoretically, shuttlecraft is possible, but the planet, being a Class L planet known for hostile weather, is another part of the entire planet. So the storms, honestly, could interfere with a shuttle and make it dangerous for a landing. Possible, but both do present a bit of danger.
So is there any kind of, like, potential of, like, being trapped, like, you know, the magnetic storms trap you on the planet?
I will say that could be your other momentum spent, and I will tell you this, that there is no records of that in there. Your estimations currently, combined with that from the sensors, doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't seem to be within that range, but because you haven't been here long enough and you don't have any records of it doing that, you can't say for sure there couldn't be a spike in the magnetic storms that could cause that issue. But at your current look at it, knowledge that you have, the answer is no.
Okay. It seems that teleporting will be a safer option for now. If we need to, although it's possible that magnetic interference might make communications difficult. I'm just guessing that, actually.
All right. We don't know what sound there it sounds like. Lieutenant Soyer, I want you to take an away team down.
Yes, sir.
Take Lieutenant Qeln with you. See if you can find out any more information, especially if something goes wrong with the magnetic field. I want someone that actually has some knowledge on that kind of thing to try to take care of it. Also, grab the doctor too. If with the distress call, there should be someone injured down there.
All right.
You can easily grab a junior officer to take with you.
I turn to Kyth. Kyth, I need you to go get the doctor.
Okay, I can do that.
After he walks out the door. After he walks out the door. Isn't that what comms are for?
Yeah.
We'll assume what's going on is the doctor doesn't always answer his comms because he's busy with stuff.
Kyth's gonna get his exercise somehow, okay?
Not my 7 reason. So I will go and enter the sick bay, as I imagine the doctor's going to be there.
Doc, what would you be doing that would create a distraction that you wouldn't notice if you'd have your comm badge off to the side and not be noticing what's going on, you know?
I'm actually deep in thought, reading a philosophy book at the moment.
I'll just enter and I'll stand quietly for a good too long amount of time to wait before announcing myself.
Actually, no. As soon as you walk in, I actually turn to you and go, "Oh, is there something you need?"
Yeah, they
I
Oh, that's right. That's right. I, Erik, don't know that stuff. I was so I walk in. I will literally never get used to that. Yeah. So they're pulling together an away team. We're going to investigate. I guess there was a distress call on a Class L planet below. So senior security officer. God, I'm never gonna remember people's names.
I have the easiest name.
Lieutenant Soyer.
Yeah, Soyer. Lieutenant Soyer is putting together an away team.
Lieutenant Commander Soyer.
And they're requesting you join us in case there are any injured folk on the surface.
Of course. Any radiation or anything that we need to inoculate for?
I don't believe so. I don't think that you did in your scan. You didn't see anything like that, correct?
The only information that's suggested for cold weather gear, probably be a good thing. Honestly, some medical gear, and when you be getting to the telepads, and stuff like that, there will be information that they've detected a structure that seems to be where the distress call is coming from. That's slightly below the ice in one of the regions. It seems to be in an area that's maybe 20 feet below the surface of a ice mountain in the one region. That seems to be where the distress call is coming from.
You should pack warm and bring your medical gear. But other than that, I think that we should be able to manage with just the usual ground team supplies.
Probably get wrist flashlights, because they got those wrist flashlights. When you're going in a underground area, technically. Mm-hmm.
Do we need to spend any momentum for any extra equipment?
I'm going to be nice, and it's a one-shot, so I'm going to say no. Because normally, yes, you might for certain special gear and stuff. But I'm sending you to a cold weather planet. I'm going to say no, you can just have some of the stuff right now.
I mean,
just actually a thought.
Just replicate some sweaters.
Just a thought. We might want to spend momentum and get transporter enhancers to take down with us in case there's a problem beaming back up.
That is an option, and that would be something you'd have to spend momentum on, but you could do that.
I'd be down with that.
What is it there for if not to be spent?
Exactly.
I will, whenever you guys go to ask the question, my answer will always be yes. Blow the momentum. Let's do it.
I've been playing Final Fantasy. I used my items.
What is it? 1 momentum?
Yes. Okay. I think 1 momentum for the teleport.
So that'll take us down to 5.
You were
4.
4, yes.
Sorry, 4.
Yep. Okay. All right, so you'll pick up some like cold
That
weather.
extra one being there
Yeah.
messed me up.
Yeah. The you'll grab, of course, some like cold weather gear. You got like the flashlights. I assume you, as the doctor, med kit. You know, your science officer has like a science tricorder because you normally have that anyway. And your two security officers got some phasers to blast anything if that actually comes up. Who knows? As you will teleport down into an underground structure, and it is dark in here. There does seem to be a little bit of artificial light coming from a source, but the source seems very slight, and you find yourself in a kind of large chamber. Flat floor, flat ceiling, mostly, though it seems as though that there is some like kind of like icy growths kind of growing in here. It might just be a problem with having something in an icy planet and stuff that, you know, you're living in an area, you might melt some things, so in your built-in structure, you might have to clear out the ice occasionally, and it looks like they're a little behind on that. But currently, it is just, other than that, darkness in the area.
So did we teleport directly into the structure?
Yes.
Okay.
Fair enough.
There really wasn't a detectable spot outside. They kind of were like, this looks like a flat spot to send you to. There you go.
Hey, only the safest of
There's no walls. Well, I'll turn on my wrist light.
All right.
And I'm going to pull out my tricorder and start seeing if I find any life readings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn on my tricorder as well, and just although I'm going to be more scanning the structure to see how
Alright.
structurally sound it is.
Then I will need a from you, Worm. We'll start with you, Worm, because you're detecting structure. We'll say a reason engineering. I'll say this is a little bit more difficult just because of the nature of it being like a ice planet and the interference with the ice and the nature of it, because it does seem to be kind of naturally carved a lot out of ice. So I'll say it's a difficulty 2 here.
Okay. So that it means complication 2?
No.
No, that means you have to get 2 successes right now.
Oh, okay.
The complication range is still your normal 1. There's 9 extra complications here.
Remember, if you have any focuses that you think might apply, you can argue for that.
Mm-hmm.
Not here. No, not for this. I'll spend 1 momentum if everyone's okay with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Down to 3.
Heck.
Alright, so you will be able to kind of give a general structure to a degree. You're not going to be able to tell, like, you were looking to see, like, is this place completely stable? The answer is, you're not 100% sure. It seems stable right now. You're not detecting any major, like, vibrations or shifts, but the overall structural integrity of the entire area is not 100% answered. You're like, we seem safe in here for now in this ice structure, but you don't know.
Okay.
So Joe, I will need you to give me an insight medicine check to give to try to like scan for general life signs using your tricorder. I'll say this is only difficulty 1.
No, I was just looking at the only thing I might, depending on the life science, I do have a focus in xenobiology.
Sure, because you're probably not going to detect any life signs that are of, you know, known species.
Betazoid. Yeah. Okay. So and let's see.
All right. So you're not building any momentum, but you kind of like detect in the area. You are not detecting any life signs currently, at least not nearby. You will be able to notice that the magnetic interference of the atmosphere does seem to be limiting the area of your tricorder. You're not getting readings from farther than maybe like 15, maybe 20 meters away at most. It kind of gets a little muddled in that area. So a little bit of a distance away, but not very far. Depending on the size of this entire structure that you're in right now, could mean anything.
I'm gonna also be mentally scanning to see if I pick up any surface thoughts or emotions from anyone outside our group.
Okay. Lieutenant Commander Soyer or Ensign Kyth, are you either of you doing anything?
What's the room we're in like?
Good question. You can take a look around. I'm not going to have you roll for that. It looks as though this is a large room that may... At first you think maybe it's some kind of large storage chamber or something like that. There is a number of, looks like crates and boxes covered in, looks like a silvery kind of cloth material over the top of them. But also you will notice that there seems to be some kind of vessels in the area. They appear to be single individual shuttles of some kind.
Okay, weird.
But they're all in... They're not of a design you recognize, but they're also all in various degrees of what looks to be damage and stuff.
Okay. Alright.
There may be... You can surmise there might be actually something that leads to the surface from this that, these vessels would come in on, or there's a transport or something that they would come through, whether or not there's a direct surface access. But you don't see anything right now, and you do seem to be kind of like towards the middle of this room area.
Okay.
Actually, can you give me an insight security check?
Insight security.
Yeah, okay. I'll say this is a difficulty 2 check, though.
Difficulty 2. Okay. How do I...
You don't up the difficulty, it just means how many dice you have to get.
Successes you need.
Okay.
So you're rolling 2 dice, you need 2 successes right now. Now,
we have 3 momentum still.
And Ensign Kyth, you could help with this because you are a security officer who could be doing the same thing with this. Which means you would roll the same check but with 1 die.
But what exactly am I doing with this check? So I can figure out how to focus.
It's kind of analyzing the area and seeing what kind of situation this place is in.
Can I use my investigative techniques focus?
Yes, you can.
Alright, I'm gonna roll my button. Press button. Button.
Okay. So Kyth, do you have any focuses, or do you want to spend momentum? You also have the option. You're only rolling 1 die right now because you're assisting.
No, none of my focuses apply here.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna roll it up.
Okay. So you don't really help at all. But
I messed up my security isn't.
Your security is incorrect.
Yeah, my security should be higher, but it was still a shit roll, so it didn't matter.
You still rolled a 15, so probably not anyway. Anyway, so you will gain 1 momentum, putting you up to 4, and you'll tend to take a look around. Though there isn't any short-term... you will notice signs in this room that scream that something happened here. There does seem to be areas that you will recognize seem to be damage to the ice structures, or marks that seem to be on a number of the kind of like crates and stuff that tell you there was some kind of energy weapon fire in this room at one point in time.
There's some kind of a battle here. I point out the energy weapon scarring.
Well, it isn't, as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to have damaged the structure. We should be safe here.
I'm looking at something that's just obvious, the rust damage. I'm like, yes. Battle scars.
These ships are very strange and impractical. Who would design something like this?
Seems like whoever made this is a man of massive ego.
Why is there this weird harpoon gun on the back?
Who knows? Who knows?
Seems to be a lot of mixed metaphors here.
Anyway, as at this point in time, that as you're kind of like doing your initial investigations, taking a look, kind of survey of your area, you begin to get like a garbled signal from your comm badge.
Can I try to boost the signal?
Sure. That could be I'm going to say it's a reason engineering roll, but this is a difficult one. I'm going to put it as difficulty 3.
Okay. Does my focus in computers apply for this one?
This one would not be a focus of computers. I will also say the complication range is higher. It'll be complication range of 3.
I am going... Don't mind if I spend a momentum? Do you even have a chance?
Oh, that's fine. I do have a question, though. As a human, I can add determination. What the hell is determination?
Ouch.
Okay. So, you have a complication. I will tell you, I can save the complication for now, or you can, you are allowed to cancel complication by spending 2 momentum. Or you could just leave it, and I will make note of what the complication is. I have an idea.
We'd be out of momentum, but
You'd be down to 1.
wouldn't have the. Well, he didn't. Oh, didn't you? No, you spent
I used one for this.
You were at 4. You went down to 3.
No, we were at 3 because we had.
We were at 3.
Yeah.
You gained 1 with David.
Oh,
Yeah, I gained 1.
oh yeah, we did. I forgot. Yeah,
yeah,
you gained 1.
you're right.
Yeah, so yeah, we would be.
Okay.
Always say let's take the complication. It's fun to sometimes have bad stuff happen.
Okay. And what was the other question I was interrupting there?
As a human, I have a thing to use determination. What the hell is determination?
Okay.
Well, we can all use determination.
Yes.
Yeah, but I have a bunch of human abilities that let me use it.
Yes. I have to give me a minute. It is something that you have
I don't know how much you're supposed to have.
I think you have 1 normally to begin with. That everybody has 1 determination to start out with.
So you can either give us a complication or a threat, right? Is that how that works?
Well, right now he's maxed out on threat.
I'm technically maxed out on threat.
Right. He uses threat. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't used any threat yet. I haven't needed to. And honestly, I will use it as is necessary.
Sorry, I just remembered threat is based on momentum for the GM.
You begin each session with a single point of determination. You can have no more than 3 at a time. Using it, it's basically related to your values. If you're doing something that traditionally matches one of your values, or, like if you have a value about uncovering truths and you're trying to get through a conspiracy or something, you could use your determination. And there are 3 different ways of doing it. Create an advantage in a scene, add an extra use of a task, reroll all the characters' dice in a dice pool, or add a single bonus d20 that's already considered to have rolled a 1.
There's also some talents that require it, like I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
Yeah.
So I can... I have the Spirit of Discovery, so I could spend mine to give momentum, or I can spend 1 to let
we start with
someone
any?
use my presence.
You all start with 1 determination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are ways of gaining determination. We're doing a one-shot. It's probably not going to come
It's
up.
not going to one-shot, but if we ever need momentum, I can spend mine.
But you will try to mess around with your comm badge, and so what's going to happen is there'll kind of be like a little bit of a surge, and you will notice that all of your comm badges are now seemingly disabled.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, lovely.
We can't call to get beamed back up.
Well,
I may have overloaded the.
Well, if they were sending a distress signal, there's surely some form of communications here.
And if we get topside, can we just... Do you think we might be able to get through?
Do I think we might be able to get through?
Go ahead and roll a Reason Science, difficulty 0. Honestly, I'll let you build a little bit of momentum here. You spent a bunch.
Okay.
I'm actually trained in science. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'm trained in science if you want an assistant. But...
I have a science 5.
I have
a science 5.
I have a science 4.
Depending on the situation, you are unsure if it's these caverns which are adding extra interference, or if there's something changing the magnetic storm. Because you're not at ship sensors, you really can't tell what's going on with the magnetic field / storm that's going on in the planet's atmosphere. So the answer is an unfortunate maybe is the problem. Like, you would need more information for a real answer, but you can judge what factors are a possibility of being the issue. So it's like, it's either atmosphere is altered in some kind of way, right now with the evidence you have, or the underground here changes a little bit.
Seems the magnetic storm might have been the cause of our loss of communication, or the underground situation, or a change in the underground system.
Well,
we might want to be looking out for potential threats.
As it was stated earlier, they obviously have some kind of communication device down here. Maybe we can boost our signal with that.
Perhaps we can find some other useful devices in these rooms, in case there is trouble.
Alright. Certainly, you can go and begin to explore the area. From this, what we best can call as a storage / maybe hangar bay, there does seem to be a number of ice tunnels that lead off of there. One in the back does in particular very easily and noticeably lead to what looks to be some kind of command center. It seems to have pretty much no power. Again, there are occasionally these lights that give off a little bit of lights, but it seems most of the lights that were placed in this area are either broken or disconnected or something. A few of them are still functioning, but they aren't really shedding a lot. It kind of makes a bit of ambient light that creates kind of strange shadows and stuff like that.
I'm sorry, but my brain just... I'm just gonna say this. My brain just pictured, like, Darth Vader in the hall with a lightsaber glowing.
No, we're gonna find the Wampa closet.
Ensign Kyth, can you please give me a fitness security check, difficulty 1?
He's gonna die.
It'll be a test roll, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's a bit of a complication. Do you want to cancel that complication, or do you want to leave it?
Well, we're at 4 momentum. I think we could cancel it safely.
Let's cancel it, yeah.
Okay, so cancel the momentum. And anyway, so as everybody's walking along into this area, you particularly notice the last second there's some kind of strange lump in the ice of the floor you're walking on that you kind of like move out of the way of. It seems like unnaturally large. It's just like something sticking out. But because it's made of ice and it's dark, it was hard to notice. You are working on arm flashlights.
So
yeah,
under the ice?
We really went down in flashlight technology in this cinch.
I mean, it's really nice, like, straight out from your arm. For whatever reason, it's arm lights, too. It's like you hold out an arm and be like, hi.
Well, it frees up your hand.
I know, I guess.
We lost the technology to make lanterns. We must rely on arm lights.
Headlamps also free up your space and light up where you're looking.
Look, I'm not saying we can't do something more reasonable now.
Hey, yeah, but how cool do you look with a headlamp when I could be doing this shit, huh?
You can blind someone with that.
Just hold on.
Blind someone with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you go to punch someone, they're blinded.
And it's like, isn't it like 4 lights around your arm too? So you got like 4 lights.
No, it's just 2 on the top.
Whatever, 2 on the top. No, you get the cooler ones, which are 4 lights, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, to be extra bright. They're new technology.
That's so funny.
Anyway,
We just took 2 sets each.
There does seem to be something in the ice that's right here on the floor area that seems to have frozen into the ice.
I look at it.
I'm going to use my medical tricorder and scan to see if it's anything biological.
Sure. Reason science for your tricorder. I'll say difficulty 1. For those of you just looking at it, you can just look at it. Honestly,
I use my human eyes to look at it.
What do your fine human eyes see?
So you'll gain a momentum. There does seem to be what you can think is biological material. It ain't alive, but you're detecting elements. It looks like there's some kind of strange hand frozen in the ground.
A hand, you say?
A hand, I say.
Okay. Does the hand extend into the ice with an arm?
No.
Out of the ice, I think.
It looks as though, like, it's a hand without a body, like, that fell here and got frozen in the ice by, like, you know, as I said, because of the nature of this place of being an ice, like, underground area carved out of ice, the ice kind of changes and melts and stuff. Looks as though maybe, like, some, like, melting or, like, whatever came on here caused it to become more embedded into the ice after a period of time.
Can I try to see if I do have a focus in genetics. Can I try to see if I can
I'm going to say, honestly, no right now, unless you abstract it for the ice.
Alright.
Okay.
This is going to be a long shot.
Uh-huh.
Try to get it out of the ice. How deep in the ice is it?
Not too specifically deep into the ice.
Okay. So.
I mean, we could use a low frequency on the phaser setting and just try to melt
No, I got this. I'm gonna solve this the himbo way, alright?
Yeah! Yes, we love this.
You're gonna grab something like metal and hard from nearby?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my cybernetic arm to punch it out.
Beautiful.
I would like to use my cybernetics focus.
Sure. Fitness, security, I don't know. Difficulty 1, but I'm giving you a complication range of 4. This could go very wrong.
This could only go well. Perfect. I don't know. I feel like, let me see, do I have anything I can do? This is a very
Yeah, you're not the only one.
There
You don't get a complication and you gain a momentum, honestly.
Just punch the ice.
You just, like, kind of, like, smack the ice at, like, an angle to try to, like, shatter it up. Because, again, it's kind of a lump above the general ice floor here. It's almost as if, like, some heat caused the floor to melt a little bit and some, like, ice from an area nearby kind of sunk it down into the floor a little bit. So you kind of, like, crack it open enough to kind of, like, shatter, like, an area of the floor using your cybernetic limb. Enough to kind of, like, pry open some chunks of ice and stuff and reveal a large, fuzzy hand.
Now can I try to see if I can learn anything genetic about it?
I mean, sure.
Well, we are gonna find the water closet.
I'm just gonna scan to make sure it's not like contagious.
Sure. That'd be a reason medicine check. Difficulty 1. It's frozen in the ice. And the other way of view is reason science. I'll say it's still a frozen piece of chunk of something rather. Difficulty 2 to get like a good DNA.
But I do get my genetics.
You do get your genetics though. Both of you.
Or xenobiology. Probably both would work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot to do my focus of virology.
Let's see if it would have mattered with what you rolled. You rolled an 11. So it wouldn't have mattered.
No.
You both will make your checks.
No, the one that got a 0, I rolled a 16, which would have.
It's lower numbers. It's your focus. Higher numbers are worse.
Yeah, it would have been one too high.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
The focus would have been would be 1 to 5 would have been where the focus would have been better. Thank you.
Yeah.
No momentum is gained, but it's very frozen. I want to tell you this, Qeln. It's pretty damn frozen. Uh-huh. You're not detecting any kind of virulent material from it, but again, being like honestly frozen solid means its chances of something contagious being on it low. And you are at 5 momentum right now. I have calculated. Gwyn. So you're going to kind of analyze its DNA. You're going to get a DNA profile of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you like a general shape. It appears to have structures that would identify it as similar to evolutionarily like what could classify as more mammalian type creatures. Because I'm
Does it seem to be adapted to to cold weather, though?
Yes. Just by looking at it, it seems to have a high level of a subcutaneous fat layer, a lot of fur. The entire thing seems to have almost been sheared off somehow, perfectly.
It was cut clean off, and it may be native to this planet, or at least native to cold environments.
Also, it's big.
Yeah, I assume the hand is rather large.
Yes. I will tell you, the hand seems much larger than anything else in these chambers, which seem more sized towards humanoids of your size. This seems probably like, I don't know, honestly, twice the size of a normal humanoid.
This could be a native predator.
This thing's a big hand, right?
Yeah.
It's very big.
I mean, a native creature is pretty unnerving, but I'm a little more worried about the things that made this, sort of gesturing to the base around us.
I'm more worried about whatever killed this. At least took its arm off.
Yeah. Guess that's right.
And took it off you could see it's like it took it off right at the wrist too, you know?
Yeah, it's like surgically removed almost.
Yes. Anyway, you are at the command center. This was kind of right near the entrance to the command center. Currently, it seems as though the computer systems in here are all powered down. The only thing that seems to be functioning is there is one console in here, what seems to be that seems to be broadcasting the automated message.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it would be
Can
possible?
I determine the power source for this?
Sure. I'd say reason engineering to analyze the power source a little bit. The energy that seems to be coming in here.
Okay. Can I use my computers this time? No, those wouldn't be computers.
Yeah.
My next thing will be computers.
I'll say, just because of the age of this area, difficulty 2. This area is kind of worn down, certainly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have 5 momentum. I'll spend momentum. What the frick has been with my engineering rolls?
Alright, the power source doesn't seem to be easily detectable from here. Your tricorder, again, with the interference, you can't pierce it, you can't get far enough. And honestly speaking, analyzing the material here, it's getting power. It's a general, electrical power that's coming into the system from whatever's built into this area. You're guessing that wherever the generator would be, or the power source, it's probably in another area nearby. Somewhere in the facility. The only thing I can say is you might be able to track it, at very least through the cabling in the walls.
Trail.
Yeah, cabling in the walls.
Energy trail.
You could do that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So you can't identify it, but you could trace it back to where it comes from.
Would it be possible to turn any of these stations on? Are they getting power, or are they not getting power at all?
That was going to be my next thing, is to try and see if I can get something turned on.
Generally speaking, just interacting with the consoles, you will not see any kind of powering on from them. So you can kind of play around with it a little bit. They're not turning on.
Neat. Okay. The distress signal console is on, though, right?
Yes. Okay. It does seem to be the only console that's on in here.
Is there a way to play the distress signal out loud instead of through the signal?
It just seems to be a general SOS. It's sort of like a general help request.
So this wasn't the message we heard.
No, it is the message you got. But the message you got wasn't like a recording or something. It was like almost like someone's broadcasting a text message of, "Someone please come and help us." Someone please come and help us.
So there's the message the ship got that led us here.
Yeah.
But there was also like a radio signal we got.
No, this is the signal you got.
This is the signal.
The radio signal you got didn't come from here. The radio signal you got came from, or the signal you got came from your ship. It was garbled when it came in from your ship. Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Misunderstood. Since this is a transmitter of sorts, could we possibly route our communications through the signal and try to see if we can contact the ship?
Certainly try.
I will tell you right now, if you want to try it, you can. But I will let you know the difficulty if you attempt it.
Okay. I will attempt this.
Alright, it's a reason engineering. It will be difficulty 4.
Can I use my, unconventional thinking? Well, I need to... No, this isn't that out of the box. Never mind. I realize I'm like, no, I need to have an out-of-the-box idea.
Computer thingies might apply.
My computer should affect this one.
Yes.
I could spend my determination to use my, I'm an engineer. I'm a doctor, not an engineer. And assist you with this. It'd give me a 5 to my engineering.
I definitely would need some assistance and to spend momentum.
I will tell you, the rules for spending momentum is 1 momentum gives you 1 die, 3 momentum gives you 2 die, and then technically 6 momentum gives you 3 dice. Now, if 2 of you are working on it, both of you could spend 1 momentum to each get a dice, and one of you could spend technically 3 momentum to get 2 dice if you really wanted to.
And the good thing is, I also have parent figure, so if we get any complications, the first one's ignored.
Okay.
Since I'd be helping you on a task, and if it's 2 or more people working on it, that kicks in.
What is the complication for this one? You said difficulty 4, but what is the complication?
Complication is only 1 on this one, so it's not particularly. The system's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of like shorts or anything that you can see just in here. System seems to be running normally. Honestly.
Okay, yeah, you can. So you can help.
Yeah, I'm gonna use I'm a doctor, not an engineer on this. I'll spend my determination.
Okay.
Are you gonna also do momentum?
I'll also do a momentum. So, and if you're doing a momentum, that'll be 2 momentum spent, which takes us down to 3.
Puts us down to 2.
Down to 2, yeah, that's what I have to do.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this.
Okay.
You said reason. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I used reason medicine for this because my doctor ability.
Cautious engineering, you could, or like a cautious trait, you could spend another momentum to reroll d20, or you can use it to reroll d20. As a note.
Yes, we can see what.
I think you have to get a. I think he has to get a 20 on one of these rolls, but no.
Okay.
That's 3 dice.
So you could spend 1 of your momentum to re-roll a die too, I believe.
If you have a trait,
you might not
have whatever.
Honestly, I have a trait that will help in the future.
Okay.
Like I have a trait similar to this.
Yeah.
You could.
Basically, if I worked with a similar piece of technology earlier in the session, I can gain an extra die.
Okay.
So, like, if I need to work with these computers again, I can.
So fortunately, you got no complications, but unfortunately, you were unsuccessful. As you're kind of trying to tap into the system, you think that you could use it to alter the general distress message. It seems as though this isn't a full communication system. This is like a distress system. So you would have to basically replace the message with something that you'd send to the ship. Easy enough. They are detecting the distress message, and if someone's monitoring things, they would notice if the message would change. The problem seems to be that you came across is there doesn't seem to be a large amount of power, and your attempts to change it are actually lowering, it seems to be lowering the power as you're trying to alter it and play with the system. The power seems honestly lower than normal. The power levels drop as you're playing around with
I
it.
was hoping if we were to get communications, we could have requested them to beam down some power supplies.
Let's see.
I think our best bet would be to follow where the power is coming from and see if there's anything we can do.
Yeah, I think that's our best idea.
That will be our best idea for now, yes.
Okay. Very easily, you can, again, as I said, follow the signal of the power supply. Head it through a number of tunnels, which will lead you into a little ways away, past a number of other chambers in the ice. There's some doors occasionally built into the chambers that aren't moving. And a couple of them that are open, some that seem like they're slightly ajar. You will see more signs of damage of whatever kind of battle happened here seem to have spread into other areas of the facility other than just the main kind of, I'll call it hangar storage area. And you'll come across...
Any more body parts?
No more body parts. The area seems kind of clean and a kind of honestly empty of a lot of material.
Interesting.
That's not bad.
Yeah, there's not actually an evidence of anything here is the thing. Like, you're not seeing any bodies, you're not seeing any, like, equipment left over. It seems either the place was cleared out after whatever happened here, or whether or not that was the, whoever won took everything with them. Whether or not
And I
that's
still
the
haven't
attackers or the
detected
defenders.
anything mentally, right?
No. After a little while, though, you will come across what looks to be a side chamber with doors that are slightly ajar. They do seem to be stuck, as if they're like a sliding doors, like on your ship. A little slightly different than your ships would have for doors, but they are indeed like whoosh doors, but they're only slightly ajar. And they seem
They switch one direction instead of both.
No, they swish, but they're not like flat in the middle. They're kind of like one of them goes like larger on the top, the other goes larger at the bottom, so they're like kind of like interconnected or something, So it's like just anyway.
Oh, okay, that good.
Yeah. But it's like slightly ajar. But the power source seems to be in this room.
Right.
Doors don't open when you approach them.
Does there appear to be any switch or sensor
Manual
that I can? Yeah.
There does seem to be nice, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's escaping my brain. Pad, set of controls to the one side. They seem to have no power. There does not seem to be an obvious manual way to use those to do it then.
Does anyone feel that they're strong enough to open these?
I'm gonna go. Wait. So is the power system behind the door?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Who's gonna strong arm a door open?
That probably would be me.
What's your fitness?
My fitness is 10.
Mine's
Actually, I think
11.
so I think you're actually the fitness.
Well, you guys could both
help.
work.
Yeah,
on
we
it.
could both. Do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we could do this together.
Team Himbo.
Yes, the beautiful people up front.
It'd be a fitness security check, difficulty 2. No complication 1.
Complication 1. Okay.
I'm gonna be doing a 1 roll.
All right.
What's our momentum at?
2.
2.
No need to spend one.
All right. So you'll be able to... Oh God, let me drink some water.
Unless the next fight is hard, then I don't know.
Okay, the two of you will be able to pry the doors open with mighty kind of there's some wrenching, there's some scraping, but you're not going to get them all the way open, but you'll certainly get them open enough that the lot of you could easily kind of move in there without much trouble. Inside is a large generator that seems to be some form of geothermal generator.
Ooh, fancy.
Do they snap back closed, or
No.
are they just open?
They just opened them a little bit more. They're still stuck and not having power. They're just slightly more open and stuck and not having power.
Yeah, they're ajar.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is this thing... So, it's geothermal. Why is it not generating very much power?
All right. Good question. If you want to know, roll me a reason engineering check. I will say this one here, difficulty 2.
I could assist you. I have an engineer in it too.
Okay, I mean, might as well try. I don't want to spend momentum right now, just because... how important does this seem?
You're only at 2 right now for momentum, but it's up to you.
Or you said it's
do
a
a lot with
difficulty
power.
what?
Difficulty 2.
2.
Actually, wait, I do have... Hold on.
Difficulty does.
Because I'm just trying to find out why it's not generating power. So my... whenever you spend 1 or more momentum to obtain information, you may ask 1 additional question in total.
That would be if you... When you earn momentum
Succeed.
after being successful, you could spend it to ask questions.
Oh, okay.
There's been a bunch of times you've earned momentum, but there really hasn't been like a good reason to ask questions about some of the stuff you've done.
Only the very first one.
Like
I
punching
mean,
open a
could-
fist from the ground where you earned momentum, I really didn't
man.
think asking more
We could
information was
spend-
appropriate.
No.
We could
It's
spend
specifically
one.
when I'm looking at information. Anyway,
We could spend
I'm-
one to try to make sure we get a momentum, so we can ask additional questions if necessary.
Not bad.
I mean, it's possible.
You have
I'm also going to assist you, so it'll get rid of 1 negative complication if we get a complication.
I'll spend 1 momentum. Let's try.
Okay, you go down to 1 momentum. So roll your 3 dice, and Joe, roll your 1 dice.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
I get rid of my own complication.
You do! You do get rid of your own complication. You are currently gaining momentum, but I'll let you know what's going on. It seems as though the system is actually slightly damaged. Probably age and lack of maintenance and care seems to have resulted in this thing having a spotty amount of power being drawn. It also seems as though you will be able to notice that the majority of the power is going to one source, which is not the distress call.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
There's like a high power drain from one source, and other than that, it's just going to the distress call, and that seems to be about all the power that's being drawn. But probably when this thing would be up and running perfectly, whatever was drawing that power would be part of the normal systems here. Because it's on the fritz, it's not as efficient, not drawing as much power. Therefore, other systems are lost a lot of power, you know.
Okay, well, I can spend them. I can take the momentum and ask 2 questions now instead of just 1, because I did have 1 originally, which is how long would it take to fix the generator?
I'd say the second one is what is
the second
most
one
power?
is where is it drawing power to?
Okay. So, yes, you could fix the generator if you wanted to. It would take you a little bit of time, but generally this is relatively simple, and there seems to be some materials in this room that could allow to, maybe not for a long-term fix, but you could probably fix it enough to increase the power levels. You might be able to get to...
Okay.
I would say it's sort of like, right now it's probably running at maybe like 20-25% of its normal maximum. You could maybe, within maybe 20 or so minutes... anything longer than that would take a long time, I'm going to tell. But for jury-rigging it for 20 or so minutes, you could maybe get it up to 40 to 50% power. There'd be enough for some other systems, certainly. And you could now track the other thing. So you could track the power. Similar to before, you could basically reverse back and see where the power is going. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Your question.
Okay. We could spend some time to fix this, to increase the output of this generator in order to send a message to the ship through the distress system. Shall I start on the process?
Yeah, I think that's probably good. I think getting any message through is how we get out of this in one piece.
In addition, a large portion of this power is being drained towards something. Where, like, is it deeper, like down below, or do I just know which direction it is?
You could track it back. Similarly, through tracking the wires, you could track it to another area of the facility.
Okay. Does the door does the first door it tracks to have power?
You have no idea.
Well, I'm going to go to the first door.
Okay, so you're going to track it back, basically. You're going to track it back, is what you're saying, then. Okay.
Does it track through the way
you would physically have to track it, is what I'm saying.
That's what I. Well, yeah, I'm saying I'm going to track it as far as this room goes to the first door.
Okay. It will be a ways away, but you can track it again through the facility, heading off from there. It's a closed door. It does not seem to have any power to it, but you might be able to pry it open right now, if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to find out if we're going to need to reroute power to doors as well. Basically.
I'm going to say, like, you had someone, force open one of these doors before. Up to you. You don't necessarily need to.
I understand door technology.
Yes,
okay.
We are men of the doors.
Very well. We will focus on powering the communications.
Okay. I will still need a reason engineering. After previous check, it's going to be difficulty 0. I'll let you build some momentum. You basically know what you have to do to fix up this thing with the material you have. You've already analyzed it. Okay, so you will add a...
I was going to ask if you wanted an assistance, but
so
you already rolled.
We're going up to 2 in your momentum. You could spend that 2, go down to 0, and get rid of your complication, or we can put a complication in place.
I could slap a sweet 3 momentum in there if we do that.
If we do what?
If you spend it, I can just slap 3 back in with my Spirit of Discovery.
Do it.
Sure.
Okay. So, Sawyer's going to spend their determination to get some momentum into your pool. You're going up to 3, but the complication is canceled. All right. The power systems go stronger. A number of lights turn on throughout the facility. It seems like there are more lights now on. Granted, and the lights that are on seem to be brighter. So, like, lights turn on is the first sign that you've got more power in the system. It does seem as though whatever is draining it is still draining a lot, and it's actually draining a little bit more, but there does seem to be a good chunk of leftover power into the system now. Maybe enough for what you need to do.
Okay. Okay, it should be working.
Mm-hmm. The doors still don't work.
Okay. I mean, I didn't try to reroute power to doors, so it's fine.
Yeah. The general power to the facilities are on. It seems as though, like, a lot of stuff is still shut down.
Do we want to go to the communications first, or do we want to wait on that?
We should send an update to the ship to let them know that a shuttle may be necessary to retrieve us.
Well, we also do have still the pattern enhancers, so teleportation still should be fine. But we don't. We have very limited communication to them. Is basically what we need to let them know.
Question: does communication affect teleporters? I kind of thought that they did.
They function on They both function on subspace signals in a way. You're being transported across subspace. The communications go through subspace signals. If something's interfering, it's going to interfere similarly with both.
Right, but the pattern enhancers help with that, though.
Yes, the pattern enhancers help with that. They're basically a targeting system. It unfortunately doesn't necessarily help with communications because that's made directly to have something, something that allows you to aim at an exact area doesn't allow you to yell at that area. It's sort of like, I can pinpoint that.
I get it. The point is to prevent long... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like two different signal types.
Yes. Anyway, so what are you doing? Are you heading back to the communications room, or are you doing something else? Or the control room, I should say.
Control room, we might be able to
investigate the situation where the power's coming from? Do we want to keep it going that way?
Well, I say let's head to the control room just to see if anything else has turned on.
Yeah, we might be able to pull up a schematic or something to figure out.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
What that place is.
I'm done.
Okay. So you can enter the main command room. A lot of the systems still seem unpowered, though there are a number of consoles that seem to have power going to them now. Certainly the emergency distress signal is still going. What do you want to do? You had a couple of options discussed. You can look into them while you're here.
Maybe I'm going to try to see if there's information that could help us without draining too much power.
Again, geothermal
like
power.
Map.
Generally speaking, you could try to bring up computer systems. So it would be a engineering reason to access the computer terminals here. I'm going to say, generally speaking, difficulty 1, your computer supply. Just to bring up something on the computer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, nice.
All right. Okay. Build a momentum.
Build a momentum. So to be able to bring up the computer systems, unfortunately, they do seem to be in a generalized language that is not translated by the computers.
Linguistics!
Also, bad news is your own universal translators are not really great for stuff you see. They're stuff for you hear, aka your communicators, which are aka burnt out. It doesn't matter. They're not saying anything. It's a written language.
You have access to the computer.
Yeah.
I do have a focus in linguistics.
Okay. I'll tell you, you're able to generally navigate the basics, at least in the computer system. You can do things like bring up a general, it looks like there's a couple of things you can bring up without kind of guesstimating, just with computer knowledge. You can get a general,
like, nettings and settings are.
There seems to be a general sensor, like a sensor for the area around the planet, which you do detect your ship in orbit. It doesn't say a lot. It doesn't really tell you a lot because it's in a language you don't understand, but you can tell that it's probably detecting your ship in orbit. It's currently, the sensors don't seem to be detecting anything else right now. They might just be on a general wide array. The other thing is you can bring up a general schematic of the facility. The schematic does point out there does seem to be a number of damaged areas to the facility. They mark things again. If you want to roll your... probably would be insight science for languages, maybe, in this case.
And then I would have the focus.
I'd say difficulty 2. It's a slightly complex language.
Okay. I don't know if this will help or not, but in my talents, I do have cultural flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
You're at ease when meeting new cultures and adapt to familiar structures, social structures. When attempting when you attempt a task to learn about an unfamiliar culture or to act in an appropriate manner when they're.
I don't think that applies right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just figured I'd.
Yep.
Check.
It was okay to ask.
Okay. 2. Let's see.
Oof.
Okay. So we got a complication.
Well, we could get rid of the complication.
Mm-hmm.
It would take us down to 2 momentum.
Up to you folks, or I could take the complication.
What was the problem?
I generally am going to be. Let's get rid of the complication guy.
Okay.
But I'm a bit of a coward, so
I'm leaning towards that just because we're trying to determine the language. So
yeah.
That could be a problem.
Yeah, miscommunication. I feel like,
So, unfortunately, you will not be able to get a accurate... Like, you're probably not really necessarily trying to translate. You're trying to pick up on stuff that you know from language.
Get the subtext.
Unfortunately, the language itself seems, again, it's a little complex for a written language, and it's unfortunate that you can probably pick up very, very basics, you know, like, you understand what some of the things are trying to tell you, what the level of information it's telling you, you don't have an idea about, you know. That's the unfortunate thing. So you don't really pick up a lot on it. You know, you've managed to get at least schematics of the facility, so you know generally how big it is. And you you have some planetary sensors that seem to be active, at very least, right now. They seem to have be activated once the power returned. So that might be a system that's default in place. Sensors to detect what's going on around it. Anyway, do you want to do anything else in here, then? You've got this bits of information. What do you want to do with it?
Well, download the map into our tricorder.
Okay, very easily able to do that.
That would be a good thing to do, so then we know where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any suggestions, or should we try to investigate that room?
Can the sensors... so you said the sensors monitor the planet as well?
It does seem to... Like, the sensors, when you first, like, looked at them, have like a holographic display of the planet, because it gives you a holographic display on the kind of it's like a ring console kind of thing. Gives you a holographic display of the planet with like a little red dot in orbit that you're assuming is your ship, because it's in the like general orbital distance your ship would be from the planet.
Can we try to scan for life?
I was gonna say, is there a way to zoom in onto, like, our location? See if there's any... Even if we can't get, like, information, if we see, like, you know, like, blips or something, it can give us information, you know?
I'll say that you could do. A specific scan for life might be difficult, but zooming in to see if there's any kind of blips nearby might be possible. Give me a reason engineering, I would... reason engineering? Sure. Reason engineering... difficulty 2, because you still having trouble with the languages. So
computers work or not?
Computers would work on this.
Okay.
And don't you have familiarity with this system now?
Oh yeah, I can use the testing a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Using engineering or science, you may roll 1 additional d20 so long as you succeeded at a previous task.
You technically succeeded on the previous task that we had for it, I believe. One of them, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Your reason engineering you did.
Yes, okay. Cool. I'll just add another d20.
Is there a maximum amount of times you can use that? Your talent?
Oh, yeah, so I,
Is that a determination spend?
No. It
might be a once per scene.
So long as you...
It might be once per scene.
Yeah, it's probably once per scene. It doesn't, like, but yeah, it just says,
I'd have to look it up. Okay. Well, you'll earn 2 momentum, then. You can maybe ask for extra questions, we'll kind of say. But certainly speaking, you can, before I'll add, I haven't added on yet, we've got that 2 floating momentum. You'll be able to manipulate the system a little bit to zoom on to the region that seems to be where the base is. You can see like a general holographic form of the mountain. The holograms are very simple holograms, basically giving like, they're not giving super amounts of detail, they're very like simplistic systems here. It'll give you kind of general thing where you can see where the mountain is, where you can actually see there does seem to be an area at the base of the mountain that has probably some kind of gate that opens up to this facility. There also then seems to be a signal outside the mountain. You're estimating maybe like quarter of a mile away from the entrance to the facility. It just seems to be a red blip out in the snow.
Okay.
And ice.
We might be able to get a visual of it if we get to the front of the facility.
It is only about
I
a quarter
agree.
mile away, you estimate.
I think I'm just gonna take the momentum. I'm not sure I have anything to
Ask.
any more. Yeah,
That'll put you up to 4 momentum then.
Yeah.
Momentum.
they could work on the resolution of their holograms.
All right. Why don't we take our break here? Because we're about at the time, we're about halfway through, and then you can worry about if you've got a couple of things still to investigate, and I'll let you take care of them. And then when we get back from the break, so if you need a snack, drink, bathroom break, go ahead and do them, and we'll be back in a little bit. So I'm gonna do this. Well, I'm unmuting.
I'm also chewing.
Oh, nice.
We're back.
Ooh, returned.
Returned! Welcome back, everybody. We're returned. So, you have now managed to access some information from the computer systems to determine there is a mysterious signal outside of the base. So, you have 3 avenues of directions you can investigate. There is still something drawing an incredible amount of power in this facility.
I think we should,
There is attempting to use the communications systems again, now that you have more power, or there is a mysterious signal outside of the facility that might be worth investigating.
try and figure out what's drawing the power first.
Yeah.
If we could send a message and then find out what's drawing the power, and if we can disable it, then we can send a distress signal, perhaps, or we can change the signal.
Yeah, but if we're not able to do that, that might be our only chance to send a message.
Understandable. I'm just posing options.
Yeah. I personally think checking what's drawing the power first might be our best bet.
Yeah.
I will say your security chief is technically the person in command, though the doctor can kind of argue that they're in a position of command. So if you're talking about whoever's in charge of the entire operation...
I mean, I'm just suggesting...
I know, but I'm saying, like, for final decision, maybe, like, your Lieutenant Commander Soyer might be able to do that.
I think we should search the door first. Figure out what is drawing the power, if it's dangerous, if it's a problem... Then we can
something
deal with
that's
the computer
not necessary. We can turn off and
Mm-hmm.
route power elsewhere.
More power, better.
Okay.
I've always said this.
You can head to the door once again. It is still closed. You haven't added power to the door, so you're at a closed door. Certainly, you could attempt to force it open.
Alright, do we want to try to force this thing open or see if there's another way in?
I got your back, Lieutenant Commander, if you want to try to force it.
Alright.
Fitness security. I will give this a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
You currently have assistance from Kyth, but you currently have 4 momentum. Kyth
I
is
don't think
rolled.
I can for this.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, so you are making it. There's a complication being added.
I want to get rid of that complication.
Okay, you are going down to 2 momentum. You've canceled out
Alright,
the
you cool with
complication.
that, guys?
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, but you will manage to, again, similar to before. This one, it's a little harder because you're like starting from scratch rather than partially
this door
open.
is broken.
Yeah, so you will manage to still like pull it open as it's like an unpowered door, kind of forcing it open enough into another large room that seems to have the entire room seems to be filled with a piece of machinery. The floor in
He
here.
rolled so many 20s.
I know, right?
Really badly.
Though similarly to many other facilities, like it is still carved out of the ice here, so like the ceiling is ice, but the entire floor here is metal instead of it. There are still patches that it seems like ice is trying to grow on here. Again, not used a lot, but there is this massive machinery that seems to be in the midst of doing something, and it is active.
I'm going to make sure. I'm going to check for radiation just to make sure it's not producing any.
All right, I will say that's probably a reason. Probably science. Just difficulty 0 to see if you can detect any radiation. I'll let you build some momentum. Also, you'll add 1 momentum. You don't detect. There does seem to be some form of radiation being generated, but nothing that is dangerous to humanoids.
Okay.
Not ionizing radiation.
Yeah, not ionizing radiation. Yes.
I will let everyone know.
All right. So
It does seem to be putting out a massive amount of this non-ionizing radiation, though. So whatever it's doing is putting out a lot of energy, basically.
All right. So what is it?
Can I try and determine what this radiation does?
Sure! You can kind of determine what this entire thing is. That would be a reason science. I'm going to say... difficulty 2 for this one.
Oh, I could assist on that.
Yeah, you can help me.
I will say there's a complication range of 2 on this one, though.
You got Team Nerd.
Well, I do get rid of the first complication because of parent figure. So that's a good thing.
Yep. Do you want to spend any momentum? You have 3 currently. I'll take that as a no.
I wasn't planning to.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will earn a momentum, or you can use that momentum to ask a question. So I'll wait, hold it off. From what you can tell, this is some kind of massive shield generator.
Oh,
Oh.
fancy.
And it is active.
Perhaps that's what's been causing the disturbance.
Which is unusual, because shields usually block teleportation.
Yes, I was about to actually say that.
This is something that you just can know automatically. But do you want to ask any more questions?
Shield generator. What the hell?
Or do you want to store the momentum?
The shields suck.
I'm going to. Well, I can. If I ask a question, then I can ask 2.
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna, because I do have 1 though. The first one is effectively, what is the range? I'm trying to find out of the shield, and
would it be protecting from the environment?
You're gonna ask those 2 questions, and would it be protected from the environment? So
that's up to everyone else about that one.
I think
that's. I think we should find out how big the shield is first.
Well, again, I can answer that one first. So, how large is the shield? It seems to generate a shield that you're estimating from the machinery here. The size of the shield is probably about the size of the mountain you're on. Remember, you're at the base of a mountain, so it'd probably generate it over a good deal of the mountain. Not any larger than that.
Yeah.
So it's a decent size,
And you said,
but it's not like
and you said the blip. You said that blip was a mile outside.
about a quarter of a mile. It
Quarter
would
of a mile,
technically
right.
be outside of the shield's range.
Okay, that's good to know. So do we want to say, is it protecting from the environment? Is that a good question to ask? Yeah, basically we want to find out, is actually a better question. Would turning this thing off be bad for us?
Yes!
Okay.
I'm going to tell you. That is the best question you could have asked, because that will give you this bit of information. The entire thing is highly unstable and still has a massive amount of energy going into it. Meaning it will be very difficult to turn this thing off without it exploding.
Hell yeah.
Fun.
I'm talking difficulty 5, at very least, with a massive amount of complication difficulty.
Yeah, let's not try that.
Though...
Would we lower the energy being transferred to it?
That would be another question. You could spend an extra momentum for more questions if you wanted to.
Do you want to spend...
I think we need information on
one more.
Yeah.
Well,
also, I'm just... No,
well,
it's...
if Worm
it's
does
so
it,
I
you'll
only
get 2 more.
Oh.
No, I only get 1 more per roll.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's the first momentum you spell. So you can ask... You have 3 momentum, you can add more questions if you want to spend the momentum for it. You are allowed to do that. So, do you want to...
Basically, I get 2 for my first one, and then it's if I spend more, I have to...
Okay.
Do you want to...
Do we want to ask that, then?
I can get the bad question.
Okay.
I think it's worth it.
You do believe there might be a way of reducing the power to this system, which would probably be the easiest way to turn it off. The problem is there seems to be some sort of key system which is not in here right now for accessing things like that.
Okay, so we'd have to find the keys.
I think I know where the key is.
Mm-hmm.
It's wherever that blip is. That's my...
I don't know what you're talking about. Is
How
that
do-
like plot that exists in these kind of things? That's an ironic kind of thing.
We might not be able to get through the shield, though. To get to it is the problem.
This is Star Wars. We don't do plot anymore. We just do fan service.
I've already done enough of that.
I take my shirt off.
Wrong
Is
kind
it
of fan
cold?
service.
Damn it! I'm very cold.
Your nipples can cut ice now. Or can
Wait,
cut
you might
glass
be able to
now.
use that to cut a hole through the shield.
Oh damn it!
Alright, I guess we're going outside then. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we can test to see what happens with the shield generator, or we can test passing through the shield generator with another form of biological life.
We
like
have
a
a hand. You can throw through it.
You do
I was thinking
have
the
a
same
severed
exact
hand.
thing.
You can chuck it through the
We
field.
have a furry giant hand.
Yeah, you do. All right.
Look, that bad boy at the shield. See what happens.
So, certainly you can go back out into the main hangar area, and investigating that, you will figure out where the seemingly doors to the outside are. They were kind of... it's something that, like, it looks like the back wall unless you're actually, like, knowing what you're looking for kind of thing.
Question. Do we want to see if any of these vehicles are actually working? Because if it's a quarter of a mile out in this weather...
That might be a good idea.
You know what? That's a very good.
There ain't land vehicles.
It looks as
Wheels.
though out of all of them, there's one land vehicle and maybe 3 sub-light vehicles, though none of them seem to have any kind of warp capability.
Yeah.
That's also another way possibly off the planet if we have to.
Yeah. Just everyone get inside of one of these fucking
I
things.
mean, none of them look like they're made for multiple people,
Yeah.
but I mean, like,
Yeah.
one of them you could
Well-
maybe squeeze multiple people. It would be very awkward. They are slightly damaged, all 3 of the... all
Yeah.
4 of the vehicles, so even the one that's the land vehicle-ish is kind of damaged. It seems to be some form of hover vehicle.
Well, our engineer friend...
Well, actually, I
Ooh, wait.
have some specialty in small crafts.
Oh.
For fixing it or piloting it?
Piloting.
Okay.
Well,
So,
actually,
we'll
the
use you later.
focus is. I actually just read the focus things earlier before the stream. It says it does not matter. If you
Okay,
have a focus
well,
in it, it can apply to any role related to it.
I have focused small craft, but I only have 1 engineering.
Yeah,
so
you're
I think
not-
What do you
maybe
have
I'm
for-
just gonna go ahead.
Then maybe perhaps you could assist at a reason engineering to make sure it's working.
Reason engineering, you say?
Yeah, you could
Ooh.
assist, and you'd have your focus for it.
Are you
the reason engineering?
You know what? I'll let you roll insight engineering. How's that sound?
It's a little better. A little better.
So who's going to be the one
Let's-
really fixing it up and rolling 2 dice?
Or you could maybe daring.
I guess if you're going to be like, you're just going to go, hey!
What,
No, yeah.
what does my focus give me? Does it just give me an extra dice?
No, if you
Unfortunately,
roll
it doesn't
low
give you
enough-
a lot because
No, if you roll low enough, it counts as 2 instead of
Yeah.
1.
Gotcha.
normally that's when you roll a 1, it increases the range for that, your focus, but unfortunately since your engineering is pretty low, yeah,
Hey, you help.
it still helps.
Yeah, hell,
Okay.
So
what is the difficulty for the actual roll?
I'm going to tell you, I'll give it a difficulty 2 to fix this thing up. This one is, you don't have to fix up nearly as much as probably these space-going crafts, so, yeah. You got it.
Okay, with his help.
Yeah. So, you
I'm like-
managed to get the thing up and running. As I said, it's
I'm
kind of...
reconnecting a piece of engine and he smacks it and it clicks into place. And like,
And then he just hits it and it starts.
It's got a main pilot seat and a kind of small area in the back where it looks like a number of passengers can go into it, but it doesn't have a lot of room. So the 3 of you in the back will be a little squished in there, but you can certainly fit. This thing seems to be more of some kind of very loose snow transport rather than something that's actually made for comfort, honestly. but you can access it, and having it
I'll let
fixed
the
up.
ensign pilot drive.
There does seem to be some kind of control for opening the hangar doors.
Aha!
So ensign
Scratch door
pilot, ensign.
Yeah, I mean,
Kyth.
It's good that we can open the doors because I don't think I can pry those open.
Yeah, I need you to give me.
I don't think I can handle my way.
I'll give you the
out.
option. You can either use control or daring, and it's going to be a con check, and you can use your focus.
I'm going to do daring. So I have bold con. So
why do I think that's going to increase the complication range?
I can so I have bold con. When I attempt a task with con, if I can buy one or more d20s by adding threat, it may re-roll. So I am going to buy a d20 to give you some threat.
Thanks.
So as soon as I sit down,
I don't
my
think you
demeanor
can.
changes immediately.
I
go.
Oh no, he can add it. I can do something here. I'll be doing something. Don't worry about it.
I see you're playing like I usually play.
Okay, make your roll. Honestly,
that gives me
difficulty 1.
Fucking thing's gonna explode.
So I get 1 die from buying that from you. I just have the 2 die normally. I'm seeing if there's anything else.
You have 3.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I have 3 right now.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So you're building 3 momentum, but you will discover once you leave out into the area, there seems to be a complication with the systems. There is no heating systems, and the direct environment outside is just pelting into you. The inside of the vehicle is cold. You were kind of cold inside the ice chamber, but it's under a mountain, so at least it was a little bit warmer. Now you're just out in the freezing storm, and you can feel the weather as, like, you know, the not only is, like, the environmental systems apparently not even working on this thing, there are, like, holes enough for, like, some cold air to, like, leak in here, so it's like it's not 100% structurally stable. It was broken, and you kind of fixed it, you know? Yeah. So it's unpleasantly cold.
Better than walking a quarter mile.
You can easily fly up to where you estimate the shield would be, chuck a hand out. I'm not going to have you roll for that. It won't hit anything. So you can just pilot your way out then, as the hand then will hit into the snow and ice and just kind of go.
Abandoned.
I got readings on it.
Yeah. This is colder than my former mate.
As you're heading out there, you will notice there seems to be some kind of strange bipedal creatures that seem to be in a small herd that you will disturb the shit out of driving out there. They'll kind of make weird noises and kind of like hop off into the snow, disappearing into the storm.
Or Andorian's probably like, this is comfortable.
Yes. Yeah. The Andorian honestly probably doesn't care whatsoever.
You guys, I don't understand why everyone's so chilled. I'm gonna take my jacket off. It's kind of nice.
It's still kind of
homey, right?
A little warm, actually.
It's still kind of a little warm, you know? God.
I don't know, guys. Anyone in a rush to get off this planet? I kind of like it.
I mean, it's fine.
Hit with a phaser.
Just fucking to the back of the head, just kind of even dooming yourself because I'm driving. Don't care. Worse. Just blast me, and as you go careening off the side of the cliff, you just see like a smile go over your character's face. Just peace finally. Sorry.
All right. You will come across, heading out about a quarter of a mile, as I said, through the storm, a massive pile of snow in the storm, which seems to be where the signal is coming from. The snow seems to be covering a large metal something or other.
Do I detect any thoughts?
No.
Okay. I'm going to scan for life just in case it might be unconscious.
Sure. Science reason. No, say medicine reason. Difficulty 1, just for general. Because you do have some interference from the storm.
Yeah. Does my genetics or xenobiology apply?
Sure, I guess.
Applies to fucking everything, dude. It's
Xenobiology certainly more than anything. It's sort of like
we're in a civilization full of aliens.
I'm on an alien planet. I want to detect something with an alien planet. Well, you're gaining a single momentum.
Yeah.
So you have some questions you could ask about it.
3 questions about this shit.
You have 5 momentum, so you can gain 1. You could ask some questions. You're losing 2, honestly, right now. But I will tell you, you currently detect no sign of life nearby. It seems as though, again, you still have that interference that you can't detect very far. And whatever this is seems to be of a pretty large structure. Whatever this is out here. It's not nearly the size of a base in a mountain, but whatever this metal structure is pretty big. It could be something like a crashed starship or a parked starship, honestly. Not a huge one, but that's the kind of thing it could be. It's giving off a similar signal to your ship, but you don't know.
Can I scan for an entrance?
Well, does Gwyn, do you want to ask any other questions?
I'm trying to think, is there any questions that I can ask? Because if there's not
is there an entrance?
No, you're detecting stuff based on life.
The scan that I'm doing.
I know.
I
don't think there's any questions for that one.
I can think of a few that you could
Is
ask.
there any genetic residue? Like, is there anything, like, can I tell if anyone has been here?
You can detect biological material, seemingly from inside there.
There's a dead guy in there.
There's
another hand.
I can detect biological material inside.
But the kind of biological material, it's not actually alive, whatever it is. It's just like you're detecting some, like, I don't know, fucking carbon.
Some meat.
Some enzymes.
DNA strains.
Complex molecule.
Complex molecule. Thank you. I was trying to think of what to call it. Complex molecule. You can detect some complex organic molecules.
Can you tell how old it is?
Can I tell how long it's been here?
Yeah.
Sure. You're within range of the scan, and you got a success. It does seem to have been here for quite some time. You estimate, even with the cold, it's hard to tell exactly, but you're estimating probably at least a few decades.
Oh.
Okay.
One more question.
If we can think of anything else.
You can also bank 1 momentum, too, if you don't have a question.
Well, we already are max momentum.
You were at 5.
That's,
this would put you
that's
6.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We'll just do that. We'll bank the momentum and be at 6.
Especially since I'm going to need to scan for an entry.
Yeah. Just like I'm at 7 threat now, because I would have used 2 to give you a complication, but someone gave me a free one. Anyway.
Dangerously.
So, you are at the thing. You're going to try to check around for an entrance?
Yes.
Okay, give me a engineering insight. I'll say difficulty 2 because of the weather and the snow that seems to be covering this thing. Partially covering this thing.
I'll spend momentum since we have plenty.
Okay, go down to 5 momentum.
Ouch.
Okay. Unfortunately, you aren't able to detect an actual entrance into it. It seems as though being, like, covered in a lot of snow makes it very difficult. Though, honestly, you could always get out and check around the area.
Okay, we'll do the manual way.
Yeah. Let's
gotta
search.
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking for?
A way in, I guess.
Way?
Yeah.
I guess I'll try and find a way in.
I would say it's...
don't you investigate?
Either insight security or insight engineering, because security would be like any kind of like areas where there'd be like proper hatches and stuff that you understand from the build of material.
Investigative techniques count.
It's investigative techniques.
Yes.
I don't. That sounds more like
I'm assuming
actually
it's
security, like detective
security
work.
stuff. I figured I'd ask. Though.
Yeah, I don't think that applies here. That doesn't sound
They
like.
don't want to assist me.
What is the role again?
Insight security?
Yeah.
Insight security. I have a decent insight security, so I'm down to help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the difficulty?
I will give you still a difficulty of 2.
2. Do we want?
We have plenty of momentum right
5
now.
momentum. Okay. So
I say to spend the momentum.
As a die, right?
you're also going to spend a momentum, Eric?
Yeah,
So
I
you'll be
think...
down to 3 momentum,
Yep.
and both of you will have one extra die. But,
So Erik gets to...
Oh my lord.
well, you will gain one of those momentum back, putting yourself back up to 4, and you will be... again, I'm going to assume this is one that you're not asking questions for, but you will find a way in. Investigating the vehicle, there seems to be an area that kind of is akin to maybe like a what you think is like a bridge or something. You'll find what looks to be like kind of like it's kind of frozen over, but it seems to be some kind of like cockpit area, and there does seem to be a hatch on the top of it.
All right, I open this bad boy up.
All right. You'll find your way into what looks to be some kind of 2-person cockpit. Of course, it's kind of like down in the snow. There seems to be the mummified remains of a humanoid in here.
Oh, I can't believe... Oh, God. I forget what that dude's name is. He's dead.
Seems to be like at the controls of whatever this is and died at the controls.
Died the way he lived.
There isn't a way that leads farther into the back of the larger area of this machine. Also.
I'm going to see if I can get some better scans of the body just to have on record.
Sure. Humanoid, you get a DNA marker, nothing recognizable, I will say.
Okay.
I guess I'll look inside for... What are we looking for out here?
There is a signal coming from here somehow,
Okay,
or something that's detectable. You're assuming there has to be some kind of energy signal, which so far, this doesn't look like it's got any energy coming to it, like in this room here. The controls are all very dead. You know, you can see that there's a lot of damage to it. Cockpit, like, I'm not gonna call it glass, but like material that was in front of it, glass-like material, window. You can actually see part of it's broken, and like a bunch of snow and ice had come in the one corner that was actually buried out of your view when you were investigating this. If someone wants to give me an... Honestly, you can just, I can say you can just search the area. I'm not gonna make you...
Yeah, I'm just gonna search for...
Yeah, I'll assist with searching.
Okay, then make a, I'll say either insight or reason, and then I will let you choose between security or engineering to take a look around.
I'll do insight security.
Difficulty.
Difficulty 0 for this one. You're just doing a general cursory search of the area.
Are we doing independent rolls, or am I assisting Momo?
I would assume...
I'll assist Momo.
Yeah.
I'll assist Momo because they have a better...
Okay. So you'll put yourselves back up to 6 momentum. Do you want to spend any asking questions? I will kind of describe to you what you found. You're at 4 right now.
Technically, we have 1 floating because we were at 4.
Yeah, you're at 4. You're gaining 3. I'll describe what you find. A cursory look seems to be that this thing seems to be a whatever type of vehicle it is, which is very hard to tell. It seems to have definitely crashed in here, and it seems to have been some form of, honestly, transport for individuals. The material and some of the things that seem to be in here scream that this seems to have been some form of military transport. Whether or not this was defensive of what place you were at or part of the aggressors, what happened when this fell, impossible to tell. But what you can tell is it seems one of the vehicles that you are in slammed into the side of this thing and crashed into it. So you will find kind of buried in the ice with this entire thing kind of... Because it didn't quite like... How it landed, it kind of landed slightly on its side, but almost completely upright. So to the one side, on this area that was pretty much buried in the sand as one of these vehicles that you were in crashed in, with a second set of mummified remains having, like, crashed through the window and kind of been, like, in here. He looks very, very, like, both dead and mummified now because, you know, crushed.
Man.
We should probably check the wreckage for the key card if we want to.
Yeah. I'm gonna check the body itself.
Questions though.
Oh yeah. Well, is there anything that maybe the question should be? Is there anything seeming to be powered? Because we got a blip.
Yeah, it's blipping. So.
Yeah, he's straight blipping.
So I will tell you, the power seems to be coming from the nice little vehicle that you've got here. Mm-hmm. The one that crashed seems to have a general kind of little blip. You identified it's a similar kind of blip to the SOS that you got, except it's much lower power.
Okay.
So it might be like a local SOS kind of thing.
Anything on these guys' bodies?
Yeah, I'm checking the mummified guy.
Sure. You can find a number of items on it. Seems to have some form of weapon. You're guessing some form of energy weapon. And seems to have a set of small metal cylinders, which do seem similar to what you needed. You need like a little metal cylinder, you could guess, as like a key almost for the thing. He seems to have a set of them.
I'll pull them out and show him. And does someone want the weapon?
Someone could give me an, I guess, insight security on this dude. Difficulty 1.
All right, I can roll that.
Sure. Okay. It's hard to tell exactly, but there are some signifiers on this person's body that looks like perhaps it was more a much more hired officer that was in this particular vehicle. That kind of seems to have done this run. Whether or not they did it directly, or whether it was an accident that they crashed into this thing and it was on their side, or he went on a basic suicide run to take one out, it's impossible to tell. Honestly, just the angle of things probably screams more, I'm taking out an enemy force, you know.
Yeah.
And he seems to have been important for where you came from.
Okay.
There's no signs of trying to turn or stop.
Take the energy weapon as well.
Okay. You got a funny energy, looks a little like a Klingon blaster.
I'll hand the cylinders over to Qeln.
Okay. I'll take them.
You know the most about engineering, and if this is needed for the shield thing.
Okay.
Like there was an entire pitched battle here at some point between. I wonder where the two sides are. Probably happened a long time ago.
Nope. The remains are several decades old, so.
Yeah.
Are you heading back to the base then?
Might as well.
Okay.
Nothing else here.
Along the way, I want, I guess we'll let Kyth roll it. Can you roll me an insight con check?
Oh,
Difficulty 1. Got 2, I'll let you gather momentum. I should have told you difficulty before you rolled, honestly. Oh, that's right, you're full. You didn't ask any questions.
Yeah.
So, if you can ask me. So, as you're going, you will see some more of those weird bipedal hopping creatures that were in the snow that were pretty decent sized, you know, probably a little bigger, not as big as apparently the creature you had seen the hand of, but certainly these aren't the things that would have had the hand, but you see a couple more of them, and then you catch a glimpse of some kind of large bipedal creature dragging off one of those things in its jaws as it disappears into the storm.
Missing a hand.
Not that one.
Okay.
Gonna come back with a robot hand.
I'm gonna be just scanning the life forms if I can get any readings off of them.
Well, you are in a position not to notice them.
Look, Star Wars, every other person is missing a hand.
Yeah, true.
That happens a lot.
You're not a protagonist.
Nobody's got health insurance here.
Oh no,
Feels
everyone
like
does. They get new
they
hands.
get a free robot hand.
I'm sorry, they have clothing technology. You're telling me the best they can do is robot hand? Yeah, bullshit. This is a scam.
Robot hand might be
most
better.
of the time. Cloning technology is looked at very skeptically.
Clothing technology is only useful when you need to bring the main villain back, or when you need to have 3 characters named Luke, but each have another U in their name.
Also, let's be real. The problem isn't healthcare. The problem is they don't have OSHA.
Mm-hmm.
Also, robot hand.
Yeah,
might
where's
be
the
better than
railings,
regular
guys?
hand.
This can't be a safe. This cannot be a safe place for us to have the entire place that we power the ship.
Sorry, Imperial safety standards don't include handrails.
Insane.
All right. You can make it back safely. The doors you left open are still wide open.
Probably close those.
Yeah,
it's a big fault.
There was a large, seemingly carnivorous creature out there.
Might be smart to close it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if we were more than a one-shot, I might have something have wandered in here. But it's a one-shot, it didn't wander in here, so you're okay.
It's a one-shot and
I use my blaster.
Combat is terrible.
And Star Trek Captain.
Don't worry, I use my blaster gun.
combat's not horrible. You just have to have a decent security.
Yeah. It's a combat. Anyway. So, certainly, you can make your way into the system, and it looks as though, yes, you can have access to the system with the keys you have. Now comes the issue. You still have to regulate this entire thing and figure out how to reduce the power. What do you want to do?
So we need the key to affect the systems at all, and now you
can. The only question is, how do you want to go about this entire thing now that you've got
leveling everything up?
Yeah.
Can we start throttling back the power that's being sent to it?
That is an option.
Could start feeding power to things and reduce its power to the generator thingy.
Yeah.
Let's try and overload its power. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's just set off a nuke. Give yourself 10 minutes to...
So, it will still be fairly difficult to play around with this. I'm going to tell you it is, even with the key, it is still a difficulty 4 maneuver to... so actually, throttling it back slightly, I will say it's difficulty 3, complication of 2. And it will be a reason engineering, or I will allow a daring engineering in this case, if someone wants to.
I mean, I can assist. I only get 2 engineering, but I have a 10 reason.
Yeah, I mean, I have 10 reason, 3 engineering, so.
And I can get rid of a complication if one comes. The first one comes up.
Yeah, let's both spend momentum.
Yeah, I mean, we're at max anyway, so.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So.
Takes us down to 4. You said complication range 2.
Yes.
Yep. So I'll roll 3. So you need to get 1. Oh,
I got 1.
Okay. So, you'll manage to start throttling back the power, basically reducing the amount of power going to the system. It does seem to be necessarily having effect, that it seems to be lessening the amount of material being thrown out. But it doesn't seem to be necessarily shutting it down at this point in time. There is a lot. You're slowly foddering it back, and I will tell you, it seems as though it will take a while if you just want to reduce and you don't even. You get the feeling that turning it off directly, removing all the power, might be very difficult, but you can certainly throttle back the power a lot.
Is it possible to throttle the power back from the
I will actually tell
generator?
you something. I will tell you something else that you found out about this. Whatever this is, the type of shield generator it is, as you're throttling it back, you will realize it has been malfunctioning the entire time. It hasn't been actually creating shields. It's been trying to and failing. And creating a massive amount of this radiation that is going off instead.
That could be what's causing all the interference.
Yeah.
Can I determine what what this shield is supposed to do? Or sorry, not what I mean. I should probably a better way to put it is it possible to well, yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of curious about why it's not why is it malfunctioning? Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
The easy answer is damaged.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to go about this. I mean, there's kind of the whole thing of, yeah, I mean, okay, well, back to my other question of, is it possible to throttle it back from the generator side? Or you just stop supplying it power?
It's the same kind of problem. The system's attempting to create a shield. By throttling it back, you're lessening the power to it. But what you found out while doing this is that basically there would be a critical failure point right now. That it would get to too little information, not enough power to do what it needs to do, and it might create, and you're pretty sure it would create a feedback, which would cause this entire thing to overload. With less power, it's probably not going to be as catastrophic an explosion. It will still be an explosion.
It's still gonna go boom.
And you're still in a cave under an ice mountain, so regardless, you don't really want any booms. So
yeah, it can come. Now here's a question: what? Okay, is the problem with it? Well, would supplying it more power cause it to help generate a shield, or is the damage actually just impeding?
I think the damage is to it.
Yeah, the damage is to it. Unfortunately, you
try to fix it.
You
can try to fix it.
Very, very difficult.
It would be difficult to fix it while it's active. I will tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, he did say it'd be difficulty 5, complication 3. I think he said it was.
Yeah.
That was attempting to shut it off cold turkey without an explosion. With your information now, might be slightly less complication. I don't know, you understand the system a little bit better. You played around with it, you have had a successful check with it.
We also know what that complication is.
Also, since we have been successful with this system, your one thing would play into it too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, getting extra dice. So,
but I'm also informing you that just shutting it off, you still might worry about it overloading and it blowing up. Shutting it off just cold turkey, you could avoid the direct big boom overload of power. You've gotten to that point in time. You probably could do it. The check for that is a lot easier. It's just that the remaining energy needs to be dissipated somehow. Probably is the best way of saying it. Safely.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
We could use the little power in the communication system.
Mm-hmm.
We could use a little power in the communication system just to send a signal to the starburst in order for them to generate a. Can you do remote force fields outside of the ship, or is that only inside the ship?
That's only inside the ship. You'd have to try to. They'd have to be extremely close to generate a shield over. Extend their shields over somewhere.
Now, Intrepid classes can go into atmosphere. They are built for that because they are a smaller ship. They're not like a Galaxy class, but they aren't really great at atmosphere. It's meant to be more of an emergency thing.
Yeah, it's to land, basically.
And even then, like,
absolutely
it's still using a lot of, like, power to generate the same kind of fields that create, like, the gravity in there to prevent the entire thing from collapsing in on itself when it lands on a planet, because it's a big old starship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was just trying to think if there might be a way to generate, like, actually, another thing. Can we use one of the phase amplifiers and try and convert that into some sort of subspace force field generator? My goal is just to try and add a layer of protection to, like, if this thing goes off, it won't destroy everything.
I think what we need to do is find a way to bleed energy from the system as we shut it down.
So, I'm going to tell you, maybe for your first question, the concept of maybe realigning the shield itself that is attempting to create and having problems creating, and maybe create a smaller one the size of the generator might be feasible. Maybe it'll be more stable then. But it also... the question is, would it last long enough and exist long enough to counteract its own explosion?
Yeah, that's...
And you want to... I guess maybe using the subspace.
We could use the subspace to try and amplify the energy field.
You're basically your targeting array, and basically using it to kind of hold on to the force field. You could probably do something to join it. Look, these are like 2 or 3 really difficult checks, but it could be done if you really want to attempt it. You currently
would
have
my unconventional thinking apply?
There's certainly
definitely.
Yeah.
It's certainly an out there idea.
It reduced the difficulty of the check by 1.
Which one?
Yeah,
choose wisely.
Yeah. There are a couple of checks here.
I'll tell you what the 3 checks I will want is. Check number 1 would be realigning your subspace teleporter beacons to be something that would grab and hold on to a force field for a period of time, allowing the power to dissipate a little slower. Okay. 2, realigning the force field to the proper size without overloading the system, and then 3, doing the rest of the shut-off of the system. Those will be the checks.
It's a very insane plan.
It is.
Anyone got a better one? Anything with.
Yeah, that sort of all falls out of my jurisdiction. So this is going to be real. Us sitting on the sidelines going, "Go team, go!"
Yeah. What we really need it with a high-level engineer on the team.
What?
For this plan, yes. Okay, I'll give you
this one. Yes.
I'll give you.
Is there? Okay.
Let me
go for a different route.
I will give. If one of you wants to use, basically make the security, the teleport, the beacon thing easier, you can make an easier check with that one, and I would allow basically both of you security people to give me security daring checks to basically, honestly, manually hold these things in place to hold a gigantic explosion at bay.
I'm not very daring.
I'm incredibly daring.
I'm reasonable, not daring.
Let's think of another route.
There's the reason that they're the officer and I am the junior.
I don't think it's called Starfleet's rules, guys. Be real honest.
Being a Chad? Sorry, that just comes natural, I guess. Alright, what is the other plan? We got something else.
Anyway, let's think of another idea. Is there a way to bleed the energy off that, like, we could maybe... use the subspace. We could use the subspace thing to beam the extra energy into space.
Is there any reason we can't also just blow this place up?
We're in it.
We're in it, and
there's no way
we
for
need
us
to. The interference is making it so we can't teleport out.
Think of all the poor, weird animals that would die.
Okay.
I kind of want them to.
So, your suggestion I will give you is something that would work with your suggestion and describe it. This is plan number 2, which only involves 2 checks. Congratulations, it's slightly easier. Once again, we're using the subspace beacons, but this time we're using for something different. We're channeling energy through them, using a combination of these subspace beacons to basically blast energy outside of the entire area. So the idea about this one was, the entire idea rather than, is to start bleeding the energy from the shields directly into the subspace beacons to create some kind of, like, shield radiation zappy beam, and then just lower in and have it almost like explode its energy through there, but it gets channeled through and it blasts out through the main door, and so you got like explosion out of it. I don't know how the hell this works. Star Trek.
No. Okay, no, this one is literally, we are trying to like channel the energy to prevent it from overloading. We're not trying to. This one
what
is
I'm
not
trying to say
stop
is
it from it.
That there really isn't an easy way to do that, is what I'm saying. So, like, you haven't given me a suggestion on how to do that, because, like, I'm not going to give that to you.
Yeah.
It's like, the energy itself is unstable. If you throttle it down too much, it's probably going to blow up. Throttling it down a lot is going to have it blow up, because, like, the entire system will just have energy going to it still, and it won't be able to do anything with that energy. Instead of being, like, it's the difference between a bomb which will destroy a chunk of the base versus a bomb that will destroy the entire mountain. Currently you're on, if you just interrupt this entire thing, bomb, destroy mountain kind of thing. It overloads the entire system and there's a lot of energy going to it. Certainly throttling that down makes that a lot easier. Send it away to somewhere doesn't really change that. You're still throttling it down in general. I guess that's the way I should say that.
Thinking outside the box here too.
Great.
Could we channel some of the energy to the ships that are in the hangar?
Certainly you could empower the ships in the hangar, yes.
Now, here's a question.
You could use the thingies again to channel the energy and beam them into the ships.
Here's a slightly different question. Is there something obvious we're missing?
But the insanity has been very...
Can we use the DM question? DM, I blew up.
Could I make a science insight check to see if there's like...
Sure. I'll say difficulty 2, science insight, knock yourself out. Let's see what you get. You can get assistance from someone.
Amazing.
Alright, Egghead, you're
We are brainstorming.
I have a 15 with that.
I have a 16 with that.
Okay, do you want to take the lead on this and I'll roll the one?
Sure.
I believe in us, honestly.
Do we want to spend any momentum on this?
Nah.
I'll spend 1.
Okay. Down to 3. Alright, you've gained 2 momentum. Congratulations, we've got that floating. You analyze the entire thing and try to figure out a way that might be a safe way to basically turn this thing off. It's an unfortunate thing that the damage to it does seem to be pretty catastrophic. You're not sure if this is age or something else, but what you can do is the answer is not to turn it off. That's the answer. The thing that you can actually do, which is the easiest thing, which I mentioned part of, is you can alter the way that the energy for the force field is being shaped. You could throttle down the power to a lower level, not enough to shut it off, but then you could alter where the radiation is being certainly channeled to, especially with your beacons or whatever you want to. So you could make the interference go to a specific area and clear up the another area that would be away from the interference, basically.
Yeah, that would be easy.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's that's just a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not as
That's
cool.
just a little bit lot easier.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, I think
You know, it won't make for as great an episode, but
thanks, Dad, for stepping in.
Dad was asked. Thank you very much. You're like, can I get a dad assistance here?
That's because you wouldn't let us blow up the mountain because we're on it.
Well, no.
we can still blow up the mountain. We just die.
I really did
we
like.
still have the first two options.
I do like the other options.
I feel like, man, I don't know, dude.
I do like having a death beam emerge from the entrance to the thing was a great idea.
That's badass.
Wait, did we just basically suggest making Hoth a Death Star?
It won't be that big, but
There's no
basically
reason we couldn't. Is my thing.
I would, good old David Soyer would go for the safer option, man. He's got 7 daring. He's not.
I got 12 daring.
He's a very milquetoast.
I got
Man.
8 daring.
I've only got 9.
Look, man, he's a white dude who grew up in a suburban household. He's not very daring.
Another instance of the honkies holding me down.
I think I got a bonus daring for being a.
you're probably from I'm from New York. You know, it's fine. It's nothing special.
From one
now.
of the nicer colonies.
Yeah, you're from New York.
Yeah.
Your character, one of our characters is literally 2 types of aliens. Another one is...
I'm 2 types of aliens from an isolated colony.
I know, you're also like a half, like, one of the weird types of aliens that, like, can read people's minds and shit. So it's like...
Okay.
Very off-putting.
So I'm just going to have it... It's 1 roll, complication 2, difficulty 4. Okay?
Reshape it?
This is to reshape it, even at lower energy, to a way that will remove a lot of the interference the radiation's giving, and basically send it to a different, like, basically you'd be like, let's send it all to this, like, the engine room, like where where the thermal generator is, you know, let's just send it all there. It's super shielded there.
We have 5 momentum. We could each spend 2 and get...
You'd have to spend... One of you could spend 3, one of you could spend 1.
One of us spend 1. And get
3
extra dice.
Which would give you a total of 6 dice.
Okay, well, I think I have the higher roll for this, engineering reason, right?
And technically, Worm, you would get a 1 extra dice anyway, because you fucked around the systems already and did make a successful check.
You'll have 4 dice, I'll have 2, and...
No, it'd be... Worm would have 5 dice, thank you, if he spent the 2 momentum. If he spent the 3 momentum.
No, the 3.
Yeah. So, I'll have 2, and I get rid of a complication.
So you will go down to 1 momentum, but you will roll 5, 6, 7 die with a complication of 2, no focuses, but we have one ability. Let's see if you don't blow things up, honestly, you know?
Let's try this. Mm-hmm. Do you want to roll the help first?
Doesn't matter, I can if you want.
I kind of just want you to first, so... Okay.
I got 1.
Okay. Ooh,
you got 3.
You got the 3. That's exactly 4. Wow.
Oh my God.
I'm spending 2 threat to add a complication. Alright. It'll come up in a little bit. Not right now. Alright. The energy patterns seem to have dissipated. Your communicators are still broken. So, even if you wanted to communicate, you can't with your communicators.
Signal time.
All right.
Anybody know how to make a signal fire?
Well, no, we still can modify the
other signal, but we'll also know that it will work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And tell them to beam us up.
So I will say this one. It is a reason engineering difficulty 2, complication of 1. To get the communication system up and running with all the fixings and stuff you've done throughout the system, you can get your bonus die. You fucked around with this thing before. Oh no, you haven't. You didn't successfully do it before, so you actually don't get your bonus die.
But I'll assist you.
Okay.
Okay. I'll spend our last moment. Should I spend our last moment?
Yeah, why? I mean, we might be getting out of here at this point, so why not?
Yeah. Okay. Oh no!
Oh,
no!
All right. So.
Well, no complications, but no.
No complications. The communication system, unfortunately, it seems like the last time you messed around with it must have caused some kind of damage to the system. You cannot alter it whatsoever.
Perfect.
Can we try to fix one of the comm badges?
Good question. Maybe. I would say...
So, can we convert a subspace into a communicator beacon?
You cannot do it into a communicator beacon, but I will tell you something that you could do that you might not know how to do, honestly, with your suggestion. You could basically probably, Alright, yeah. Your suggestion, I would interpret your suggestion to this. You could hook one of the beacons up to the power here, and what you could do with it is alter its subspace signal to basically be similar to the SOS. It wouldn't be anything as pretty as an actual message, but you could basically beam off like a signal that's coming that's a different one in
Morse
subspace.
code.
That's not always recognized right away.
I
It's
know.
as simple as just, like hey, something's wrong. I would need a, I don't know, reason engineering, complication 1, difficulty 3 at this point in time. Just to...
We have no momentum. I can assist.
Yeah. No, I'll make it
Let's
difficulty
try.
2. I'll make it difficulty 2. This one's not as difficult as I thought, yeah.
You can help. Let's see what happens.
Well, I got one.
All
you
right,
got one.
we got the 2. All right, you start the signal. The beep, 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 or whatever it is. You don't actually hear anything, but like you mess around the system, you get it up and running, and kind of sending out a signal. And it's at that point in time that you will kind of see from the sensors there seems to be another vessel coming off, like another signal coming off of the other one. Seems as though your ship has launched a shuttle.
Yay!
You can easily exit the underground to an area on the surface with your vehicle that you had to get to the shuttle, to get beamed aboard the shuttle when they actually get within range to detect you with their sensors. As you take off, the mountain explodes. That was the complication.
Oh, I mean, no. I don't think that's in the Starfleet manual.
My complication was there was basically you accidentally created a ticking time bomb with it that,
Yes, we had 10 minutes to escape. Exactly 10 minutes, just like every Resident Evil game.
Beautiful.
You'll head back to your ship having left
That paused during cutscenes.
It paused.
Yeah, that's right. I gotta talk to Ada. Hold on.
But your adventure...
Want to buy a disruptor?
Your adventures on Telgaria 3, a.k.a. probably not, but maybe Hoth, have completed.
Legally distinct.
Legally distinct Hoth.
Legally
distinct.
There may have been some kind of, I can't remember the difference between the things' names. The ones that
Womps, Wampas.
Yeah, there may have been those.
Whip-womps.
Whip-womps. That's what one of them was called, the Whip-womp.
Yeah, I love that. The whip-womps.
Anyway, there we go. We've reached the end of it. Some crazy ideas I did summarize a little bit, but so what you didn't find out because you actually, to your detriment, the malfunction with the communicators, what you would have found out is the when you originally came in, the shield system where it was generating was kind of on the fritz, so you were kind of like, it had like a hiccup for a second. Another one of the reasons it was so unstable. Then it re-engaged, and made transporting and locking on very difficult. That's what they were trying to warn you about, but you didn't know that because you destroyed the communicators.
The communicator's exploding really,
Look, I tried to boost the signal, I short-circuited them.
It was hilarious, and I was wondering if you there would have been ways you could have found it out, but you really didn't get into those. But yeah, so the entire idea is actually
more engineering.
That's one of the reasons probably the original distress signal wasn't getting out. It was being blocked by the malfunctioning shield generator. So when it went on the fritz, it started going out into the world, and when you showed up again is when it re-engaged. Because it's Star Trek, it's always ironic timings.
Yes. I probably should have done science for engineering for, but oh well.
Well, I think it's funny we had medicine really covered.
It's an unfortunate thing in something like
and
this.
Science really
Command
covered.
rarely comes up. It could have if you did some certain things, especially if you got into the system. You could have learned the system more. You didn't do that. You could have done more stuff with the vehicles, which would have been more con. Medicine, there were some possible things if you had asked me about certain things you could have gotten more with medicine, but
we actually did use some medicine at least.
And you did use some security too.
And con.
We used a surprisingly little amount of science was the problem.
I was hoping to do a little bit because you had 2 security officers, a little bit more with security, but that's not easy to do.
Well, if we would have
without combat,
the problem was we didn't run into anyone. Like I would have been, I built my guy really useful with, communicating with other species.
because like in the previous games we've done this. It's like, oh yeah, we run into one. I'm like, okay, I thought there'd be nope. Okay, apparently this was a.
I had empathy, linguistics.
I will tell you, there was possibilities of ways that you could get some kind of like messages and stuff too. But again, it came down to certain roles didn't allow you to go different paths. You kind of the roles kind of determined which directions you were going. I kind of left things a little open to where I was going to go with them. I felt like that was the best thing with this.
Yeah, I thought it was a really fun little mystery. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Once again, a very fun time.
I hope everybody did have a good time. I always try to make
me time
as the 2 universes slowly merge.
Look, there may or may not have been a wormhole that opened up here that disappeared afterwards. That I keep merging.
You did mention I was studying a micro wormhole or something.
There has been crossovers in the comics.
Yeah, there has.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, between Star Wars and Star Trek?
Yep.
Yeah. There has been crossover comics. Star Trek comics and Star Wars comics. I don't know specifically which ones. I know there was a TNG one that crossed over and they met Darth Vader.
Oh, that is.
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Worm. Do you have anything to shout out about that?
Yeah, sure. I stream on Saturdays and Sundays. We'll see about this week. This week is my mom's birthday, so we'll see what that happens. But I should stream at least one day this weekend. It'll probably be Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Joe, do you have anything to shout out?
See everyone in 2 weeks on next Wednesday.
Yes.
For Skulls and Shackles.
Yes.
Momo.
Alright, you Buccaneers, watch me there, discuss the tabletop. I have opinions.
Mm-hmm. And of course,
Yeah,
Erik.
I'm sleepy, but soon I will not be sleepy, or I'll be sleepy in a different place at least.
I mean, that
Very
happens too.
exciting stuff.
Myself, Dracovin. Tomorrow morning, if you want to check it out, I'll be streaming some gaming. I'm going to be doing Spelunky 2. Hoping to get a normal win on that one, and I'll try the easy way.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
I just keep trying to get the way that will be for ending 2 to practice that, and I really shouldn't because ending 2 is difficult to do, more difficult than just normal winning. So I should just do a normal win, honestly. I'll probably do that first, and then Saturday I've talked about it that I will most likely be canceling out my morning tabletop talk just because I'm going to be busy. If I can reschedule it, I let people know, and it would be a little bit into the afternoon. Discussing Tabletop is not going to be affected at all. It's at 6 p.m. even in the evening. So that one's going to be on schedule for Saturday, and then back to a normal schedule next week. So, and I hope you all enjoyed this, the yearly event that I have honestly been enjoying every time I do it. I have to remember the Star Trek rules every time more exactly. You know, it's sort of like I try to familiarize myself, but then I'm like, what the hell did I forget? You know. It's always like that.
There apparently was also a Star Trek Doctor Who crossover.
There was, yeah.
There was a Star Trek Star Wars Futurama crossover.
Oh my god. That's fun, but also
Anyway, we'll get going. Thank you everybody who joined us and hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hope you have a great rest of your May 4th if it's not done, or if it is, enjoy May 5th. And always, let Star Trek be with you. Why does that sound religious? That's
always a bigger
live long and prosper.
There you go. Okay.
That's the one.
That's what we end on.